Hi again, and welcome to this virtual human meme podcast. I'm Atomic Dave. Well, hey, I'm still AI Dave. That means the voice you are hearing is mine, David Boles, but the voice is artificially created as a text-to-speech phenomenon. Yes, it's me, your old pal, David Boles, but it's not really me, you know. So, today's topic, enhanced by AI research, is a discussion of the famous Eugene O'Neill quote about how science and technology failed the 20th century because they did not replace the death of the old god. Okay, so that's an interesting premise for 1921 to far. But what was the culture like back then? What was happening in the world? And what might the challenges of the 22nd century be like? Let's find out together right now. Eugene O'Neill's statement in 1921 reflects a broader sentiment that existed during his time, a period marked by the rapid advancements in science and technology, concurrent with a decline in religious faith and traditional institutions. His era was a time of paradigm shifts, particularly following World War I, a war whose carnage was magnified by technological advancement. Simultaneously, the scientific theories of figures like Albert Einstein and Charles Darwin were further pushing God to the margins of public discourse, replacing religious explanations with scientific ones. O'Neill's statement captures the existential vacuum that arose from this displacement. Science and technology, despite their promise for improving human life, were unable to fill the spiritual and moral void left behind by the death of the old god. O'Neill could be perceived as echoing Friedrich Nietzsche's proclamation that God is dead, pointing to the fact that the collective spiritual compass was losing its direction. Was O'Neill right? To an extent, he was. While scientific advancements of the 20th century, such as the moon landing, the internet, and medical breakthroughs, have been revolutionary, they have also contributed to ethical quandaries. The atomic bomb is an emblematic example, a technological feat that poses existential risk. However, science has made strides in ethics and humanism as well. The Human Genome Project, for instance, has not only decoded DNA, but also spurred ethical debates on genetic engineering and cloning. Hence, while O'Neill correctly identified a vacuum, he perhaps underestimated the capacity for human adaptation and the evolution of new ethical frameworks. Extrapolating into the 22nd century, the most significant challenge could be the ethical management of artificial intelligence and biotechnology. These could bring unparalleled prosperity or lead humanity down a perilous path. For example, gene editing could eliminate hereditary diseases, but it could also give rise to designer babies, which would present complex moral and ethical challenges. Moreover, AI could transform economies and redefine labor, but it could also exacerbate income inequality and pose existential risks if not managed responsibly. These dual potentials for great good and significant harm will test our ethical frameworks far more than the scientific advancements of the 20th century did. Therefore, the 22nd century's greatest challenge will likely be not just the advancement of these powerful technologies, but their ethical governance and equitable distribution. Continuing with this line of thought, the 22nd century will grapple with questions of agency and human dignity in the face of technological pervasiveness. As we venture deeper into the integration of AI into societal frameworks, we may have to confront unprecedented forms of moral ambiguity. For instance, as autonomous vehicles become prevalent, the notion of moral responsibility in case of accidents will require redefinition. Should the machine be held accountable, or should the ethics of the algorithm's human creators come under scrutiny? Questions such as these have been broached by scholars in the field of machine ethics, illustrating the evolving nature of ethical considerations. Additionally, biotechnological interventions will challenge our concepts of what it means to be human. Will enhanced cognitive and physical abilities result in a human society that is bifurcated between the enhanced and the unenhanced, thereby creating a new form of inequality that is biologically inscribed? Ethical deliberations in the bioethical realm will become increasingly nuanced as we consider the pros and cons of manipulating our biological substrates. Furthermore, the management of Earth's dwindling resources, exacerbated by climate change, will test our collective ethical frameworks. Advancements in technology might provide solutions for sustainable energy or geoengineering, yet they will be meaningless if not accompanied by a global ethical commitment to equitable resource distribution and ecological sustainability. Thus, the 22nd century will face a myriad of challenges that will compel us to redefine our ethical paradigms in ways that are holistic, encompassing not just human-human interactions, but human-machine and human-environment relations as well. The very nature of what is considered ethical may undergo transformations as society navigates these challenges. It may well be that the old god of traditional religious and ethical systems will be replaced not by science and technology per se, but by a new, evolving moral code tailored to address the multifaceted, interconnected challenges of a new era. Delving further into these complex ethical landscapes, it's evident that the 22nd century will also require us to rethink governance structures to keep pace with rapid technological changes. Traditional notions of statehood, sovereignty, and international law may prove inadequate in addressing the challenges posed by transnational issues such as cyber warfare, bioterrorism, and data privacy. It will necessitate a reconceptualization of legal systems, perhaps even a formulation of a new global ethic that transcends national boundaries. Moreover, the democratization of technology raises the stakes of ethical management. As powerful technologies become increasingly accessible, the potential for misuse multiplies. For example, the dissemination of deepfake technology into the public sphere poses challenges to the integrity of information, questioning the very nature of truth and reality in the digital age. Therefore, ethical governance cannot be the sole responsibility of a centralized authority. It must be a collective, societal endeavor, thereby complicating the task at hand. Furthermore, the global scope of these challenges accentuates the importance of collective moral agency. This could potentially be the century where humankind either realizes a new form of global solidarity, driven by the need for survival and ethical coexistence, or plunges into an era of unprecedented discord. The responsibility will lie not just with political leaders, but also with thought leaders, ethicists, and the general populace. Institutions of moral and ethical education will require revamping to adapt to these new challenges. The very nature of ethics and morality may undergo a transmutation, not just an evolution. We may need to reconsider the anthropocentric biases inherent in most ethical frameworks to include other forms of life and even non-biological entities in our moral considerations. As autonomous machines become more integrated into social settings, they may acquire what can be termed quasi-ethical responsibilities. This raises speculative but fascinating questions about the future. Will there be a time when AI entities participate in ethical discourse, perhaps even contributing to it? If we contemplate the increasing complexity of ethical and moral challenges, the 22nd century may even demand a multidisciplinary approach to ethical governance. Ethicists, technologists, social scientists, and policymakers will likely need to collaborate in unprecedented ways to construct frameworks that are intellectually rigorous and pragmatically effective. Such collaboration could lead to a form of Applied global ethics, synthesizing diverse ethical traditions and cutting-edge scientific understanding. It is also plausible that as we venture into the ethical terra incognita of the 22nd century, new forms of ethical discourse will emerge. These may draw upon computational models for analyzing complex ethical scenarios or employ advanced simulations to assess the societal impacts of specific policy choices. Such tools could bring greater precision and foresight to ethical reasoning, though they will inevitably raise their own ethical questions, including the dangers of reducing ethical decisions to mere algorithmic calculations. Moreover, the narratives and mythologies that societies create around technology and progress will also play a crucial role. Cultural stories can serve as repositories of ethical wisdom, shaping public attitudes towards critical issues such as climate change, biotechnology, and AI. Hence, the role of artists, writers, and other cultural creators in shaping the ethical landscape of the 22nd century should not be underestimated. The prospect of encountering extraterrestrial life, though speculative, adds another layer to the ethical complexity of the future. If such an unprecedented event were to occur, it would require humanity to re-evaluate its anthropocentric ethical frameworks in the context of a broader cosmic community. The ethical ramifications would be profound, possibly leading to the establishment of a universal ethics designed to govern interstellar relations. As we stand at the cusp of this future, it is worth pondering how the ethical decisions made today will resonate through the corridors of time, shaping the moral landscapes of a century yet to come. It's a monumental task, necessitating both humility and audacity. The 22nd century will not just be a test of human ingenuity, but also a test of our collective moral imagination. The challenges are formidable, but so too are the opportunities for crafting a more ethical, equitable, and enlightened future. And there you have some thoughts on the future of the human condition in the world as science and technology both continue to serve us, and to fail us in the most spectacular ways. Thanks for joining me. I'm Atomic Dave, also known as AI David Boles, and please be a human meme.